right. Well, unfortunately, we couldn't be at the Microsoft Gathering event in the UK, but we wanted to stay a quick shout out and answer some of your burning Mass Effect questions. So we're joined by Mass Effect executive producer Casey Hudson. Casey, how's the development going?
It's going really well. We're actually able to play through the whole game right now from beginning to end. So that's what we're doing. We're just getting the last bits of features and content in and just doing the last bit of work required to finish the game and polish it up.
First question is about the Omni Blade. So people, they want to know more about it. Why the change in how melee works in Mass Effect 3? Are you happy with where it is now? And are there any particular inspirations for how the Omni Blade came to be?
Well, the Omni Blade kind of came out of a few things we were trying to do. What we kind of wanted was an extension of what you can do with the Omni tool and actually make that into a really brutal cutting blade. We wanted to actually add a really special heavy melee that will also be part of your class selection. So every character class gets their own heavy melee.
Now, obviously, the game looks fantastic, so props to your team. You guys have really done some amazing things, and you've somehow managed to squeeze even more improvements out of the same hardware that was available since the very first Mass Effect. Now, does that mean that we're able to keep the same number of discs on the Xbox, or do we have to add additional discs?
Well, we don't want to go to 3 discs because we don't want more disc switching. But at the same time,
And I appreciate that, Casey. As someone who doesn't want to get off my butt to switch the game in mid ass kicking, I personally appreciate limiting in the number of discs.
Yeah, I mean, the advantage is that by limiting it, then ideally you only have to do it once or twice in a playthrough, and then at the same time it allows us to really maximize the space. So you get amazing looking videos, you get super high resolution textures, and it's a huge game. The fun of a Mass Effect experience is that everything looks different. You go from one planet to the next. And so it does require a lot of movies, a lot of different textures, and a lot of different kinds of models and stuff. And for that reason, we just could never fit it on one disc. But we are trying to maximize 2 discs.
Now, speaking of the hardware on the Xbox 360, it sounded too good to be true when Jesse was there at E3 on the Microsoft press conference with Ray, and they were showing off the Kinect support, how you could issue verbal squad commands. I mean, literally, I've never seen the room that, floored before. I mean, it got, more applause than anything I saw there, and people want to know more about it. We've been a little bit quiet since that announcement and debut at E3. Can you talk a little bit more about how it actually works? Is there any special setup involved? Give us something.
Yeah, the feature is really awesome. I think a lot of people are worried that we would put Kinect in just as a bullet point or something, just to try and jam it in there. But it's not a gimmick. When you're playing a game, especially a game where you have squad members, you would love to be able to just tell them something. You'd love to be able to tell them to move up ahead or cover you or take out your target. But you're busy with the controls, and it's kind of counterintuitive actually to have to be fighting and then press other buttons to tell your squad things when you could just say it. And that's what we're doing with Kinect, is now you can actually just tell your squad members what you want them to do. And so that's super helpful in combat. Then we have some other things that you can do in the game and in terms of the interface to just control things with your voice. So it's actually really helpful. And as soon as you do it, it actually really changes the experience. As Commander Shepard, you're talking to people, and it actually changes the way you think about yourself and the character when you can say the paraphrase and then Shepard says something. It's almost like hearing yourself think. And because you're speaking, you actually feel a different kind of verbal connection with characters on the screen.
Now, do you find that people are tend to be more Paragon playing Kinect because they have to say the line out loud, and it's more of like, well, then I'm really committing to this?
No, I think people still have a lot of fun, literally role playing. That is playing a role, is being that character and being able to say the things that Commander Shepard is thinking.
Now, how many commands are people going to be able to do with this feature? Is it like every squad command that you can pull up in the radio menu? Is there a limit? Is there a list you can see? How does that work?
Kinect is able to recognize a huge amount of words, so we can just go through and connect a lot of those things up to different actions in the game. But we'll have kind of a main list of them, so that you can just bring it up and kind of remind yourself of the things that you can say, whether you're in combat or other parts of gameplay. Some of the most useful stuff really centers on just talking to your squad members and telling them to follow you or move up ahead, or you can actually call out specific powers. And so what a lot of people are having fun with is griefing on Kinect, where you walk into your friend's room who's playing Kinect and you yell charge, and then suddenly he launches across the battlefield at the giant Atlas that he's fighting, and suddenly he's in close quarters with him. So That'll be a challenge for people who are playing on a couch with their friend who can yell out stuff at the screen and make their character do things. But it actually is a really cool feature, and we're excited for people to be able to try it out.
Casey, you just gave big brothers one more excuse to punch their little brother, and I think everyone just thanked you for that.
It's gonna be awesome.
No, I mean, it's amazing. Like, again, people were really floored, and I know I for one, I'm sure I speak for everybody watching, can't wait to see more about it and to really, I'd say, get their hands on it, but it's really get their voice on it. So awesome, Casey. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you guys are slammed right now with finishing the game, and definitely can't wait for the game to come out on March 6th. Thanks so much, Casey.
Thank you.